Cody from WeatherWool here, and this is the holy grail for us. This is the WeatherWool Anorak. And this piece probably doesn't need any additional promotional help at this point, but I just got this new midweight and I'm fired up about it, and I thought I would do the product video now while the energy's high. I've had an original one since 2017. This is the one that I wore almost every day during the winter, building my cabin, spring, fall. I wore it all the time camping. I use it for hunting still. It's my regular go-to anorak. But I also got this midweight recently, and I'm really loving it. And there's a lot of new features that I wanted to mention and share with you guys. No matter how many we think we need to make of these, we keep selling out of them. So we do have another production of wool running through right now. We're already at the point where we're starting to pick sizes, colors, fabrics. And so if you want one, the best thing to do is go to the website, and even if it's out of stock, select the size, color, fabric type that you want, and click notify me when available. And that'll put your name on a list, and then we're gonna be able to more accurately judge what sizes and colors everybody wants. So there's no obligation, no money down to do that, but that just helps us better predict what the demand is. So a lot of the popularity of this garment has come from you, the customer, just sharing word with each other and telling people about it. But we've also had some really high profile figures say some really positive things about it. And one of the names that comes to mind is a guy named John Hudson, who is the British military's chief SEER instructor. So his job is survival for both British military. I think he works with the US military, and I know he was doing survival training with the Canadian Air Force up in the Arctic, and he sent some photos of him wearing the anorak up in the Arctic, and he tells us that he goes almost nowhere without his WeatherWool anorak. And so if the anorak is good enough for a guy whose job professionally is staying alive and teaching people how to stay alive, I think it's going to serve the rest of us just fine. So it's also been featured on the TV show Alone, many different seasons, and if you've had a chance to wear the anorak, you'll understand why people choose to live in it and try to survive in it for months at a time. It's also been featured on the TV show Mountain Men a number of times. A guy named Mike Horstman, who lives up in Kodiak Island, he's often wearing the anorak, and a number of other people, and I think there's more mountain men coming soon that are going to be wearing it as well. So a lot of exposure there on TV. And then also, we've had just a lot of people do YouTube reviews on it, which has been really helpful. So thank you to everybody who's helped spread the word of this anorak. We've done no paid advertising. We've paid nobody to wear it. All of the exposure has been organic and natural and honest. So thank you so much to everybody who's helped make this garment so popular. In addition to all the popularity of it, it's also been very heavily field tested by a lot of active military, first responders. And so all of that feedback's been coming back over the years from everybody that's been wearing it, just paid customers, people who we've asked to do testing of it, the military, and all that information has been gathered and databased and organized and then reapplied to the new design. So constantly upgrading the pattern, refining it, adding new features. And so we're going to go into some of those new features right now. So the most common question that I get is, should I get the full weight or the mid-weight? And the truth is, it really doesn't matter because you're going to want both. The full weight is all I had really experienced up till just recently. I'd used the mid-weight in the CPO and other garments, but as an anorak, I had always just had the full weight that I showed you earlier. This is also the full weight here, and this is a mid-weight. So from a visual appearance-wise, it doesn't really change that much, a little bit in the links pattern. So it's just about how dense the wool is. And to be specific about that, the mid-weight is 38% lighter than the full weight. So I think that it works out to that the large is 3 pounds 7 ounces, and a large in midweight is 2 pounds and 12 ounces. Now, if you want more warmth, more rain protection, more wind protection, bulkier, cozier garment, the full weight's obviously for you. If you want you want lighter for one, you want more activity, more breathability, more maybe versatility in the shoulder seasons, the midweight. I find that I think I'm going to get more use out of the midweight because I can wear it comfortably inside the house, on cooler days. I'll be sitting at my desk, have this on over a t-shirt, go outside, maybe check the trail cameras, shoot my bow for a little bit, come inside, back at my desk, and I'll just be wearing the Anorak over a t-shirt the whole time and feel totally comfortable. It's still thick enough that the bugs can't bite through it, so it's a really great choice for people that are hiking, camping, just doing more activity type stuff. Now, the Anorak is a pullover, so if you've got shoulder problems or that's just not your thing, we do have another garment called the hooded jacket that's very similar, but it has the zip all the way up the center. So getting into the more specific features, the Anorak has side zips that run all the way up quite high, so that gives you a lot of ventilation and also just good breathability if your armpits are getting warm. You got that flow. You got that on both sides, and so also I find if I'm in a canoe or fishing boat, I can unzip these sides and then just put this on my lap, and I've got just a nice comfort protection over my lap. If you want those side zip ventilations, but you don't want it flapping around, there's also buttons on the inside that you can use to close it up and still allow that air ventilation to happen without having that swaying flap on the front and the back. The side zips also allow for easy access to anything you might carry on your belt, whether that's Swiss Army knife, flashlight, your cell phone, a side carry, rangefinder, all that kind of stuff that you might carry on your belt. It gives you easy access to that. The front of the Anorak has the kangaroo pocket, so a great hand warmer, but also has dividers inside of it, so you can take your loose keys or whatever, throw it in and just slip a key in that little divider, and that'll hold it tight in place, or your cell phone or whatever you want to store in there. If you want a little extra protection, there are buttons on the side that you can button it up to secure everything in place. We have a friend of ours who's a ranger at Yellowstone. He says that he never goes anywhere without his bear spray, and he always keeps that bear spray in that front pouch, and it's really a great place to keep it. So we've got an extra large hood that has a cinch in the back that allows you to adjust that so that it's it holds your head back as far as you want, so you can really sink your head deep in there, or if you want more peripheral vision, you can tighten that up and just keep that hood on the sides. We also got the pull cords, which we have custom knitted for us out of our own wool, because we want everything to be 100% wool, and that allows you to cinch it down as tight as you need around your face for that extra warmth. We often have people telling us that they sleep in their Anorak, whether that's layovers at airports, active military, camping, maybe you get out to your hunting stand early and you just want to get some sleep before sunrise. It makes a really great impromptu sleeping system. On the front of the Anorak, we've got 2 chest pockets, both with zippers on them, and these are quite large. They actually hold a 5x8 field journal. And on the inside of the pocket, there is a divider. And that allows you to throw maybe headphones or some smaller stuff on the inside while still slipping in a bigger book or your cell phone on the outside. So that just helps keep things organized inside as well. If you spend much time in really cold climates, you'll know that your cell phone doesn't work great when it gets really cold. So it is nice to be able to keep your cell phone in there and keep it nice and warm close to your chest as well. The neck closure has our flagship slot buttons with the nylon webbing. These buttons are so strong that never in the history of WeatherWool have we ever had a customer say a button has broke. Think about that statement. I know I've had garments from brands that, within 2 weeks a button breaks, and they're like, well, there's a spare button sewn on the inside. To me, that's unacceptable. No one should have to spend that kind of money and then have a button break on them right away. The cuffs use the same slot buttons, and the design allows you to have 6 different size options. So you can go around that way, or you can actually take this and go around the other way and really cinch it up even more. So you got a lot of variety there on the cuff size. The design of the cuff has a 3-inch let out, so if you've got longer arms, you can simply have a tailor just undo that stitch, let it out, and stitch it back up to give yourself that extra length. There's also a waist cinch inside the garment, so that helps keep the fabric tighter to your body to reduce airflow if you're in a colder climate and you want to really reduce any of that air movement, get that cinched up nice and tight around you, or the opposite if you just want that to be a bit more flowy and more breathable. We also have a hidden pocket inside the garment, and that's easy enough to get to by just lifting up the front flap, and it's hidden underneath the front kangaroo pocket.
I guess this is working well as camo. As I'm doing my little product photo shoot here, the turkeys came out along the river, pretty far away, about 200 yards, 150 yards, but it's still fun.
The whole garment is sewn together with a mil-spec Anafil water-resistant thread that is used by the US military. So overall, it's just a really comfortable, easy-to-wear item. Lots of pocket space, lots of ventilation. It's not something you have to be taking on and off all the time. That side vent really gives you a lot of airflow. There's just a lot of great features that make it super comfortable, but not too much and too bulky that it's uncomfortable to wear, and sleep in. So it's just a nice balance between utility and function and comfort. So the WeatherWool Anorak, this one specifically, is probably the reason that I work with WeatherWool today. Like many of us, I got on a phone call with Ralph and started talking woodsman skills and being outdoors and wool, and he told me his mission was just to make such a great product that he didn't need to advertise it and didn't need to pay people to wear it, and that the word would just spread. And at that time, I knew how much companies spent on marketing. I was in the industry. I was involved in millions of dollars of ad placements and all that kind of stuff, and to try to do it without that seemed ambitious. But when I got the Anorak and I started wearing it, I started to believe in it. And I spent a lot of time in those years building shelters and sleeping outside in the cold and cooking everything over a fire. And I just realized, this is it, man. This is the invincible uniform that just makes you thrive out there more comfortably for longer days, in a row. You're not getting wet. You're drying quickly. You're not getting burnt. You're just happier. And I totally wanted to see them succeed and started just trying to help out where I could, not as an employee or a paid, just as a friend. And so it's pretty cool that 8 years later, I'm here on behalf of the company, working for the company, and that the mission has totally worked, and that people are spreading the word and they're loving the product, and our only problem is just trying to keep inventory in stock. And so we're really honored that so many of you have shown such great support. So on behalf of Ralph and Debbie, just want to thank you guys for being great customers. And if you want one, remember, go to the website, pick your color, pick your fabric, pick your size. It will say out of stock or sold out. Just click notify me when available, and that'll help us get your name on a list. As soon as we start going into production runs, Ralph's going to call you, or someone from the company is going to get in contact with you, confirm that you still want your order, and we'll put the order through then. So no obligation to get your name on that list, and that just helps us better estimate the quantities that we need in specific colors and fabrics. So thank you so much. Never let the weather ruin a beautiful day, and on that note, I'm out. Gonna go outside.